As a disabled veteran who doesn't want to lose his VA benefits due to changes in the law, I will explain how we can help advocate against laws that are being put in place that will negatively affect all veterans and active duty members who will become veterans, life membership, and veteran service organizations.
And we thank everyone for coming out today to share this day and to make sure that we're a part of this day by being here today. So there's a lot of todays, but I just want to say thank you very much for making the effort to come out today.
Amen.
So our next guest speaker is a personal friend of mine, and I've known Mr. Archie Lee Smith Jr. for about 10 years or so, and he's made a personal impact in my life. He's not only a super dynamic person, but he gives so much of himself to so many people. There's just not enough of Archie to go around. And I want to thank his wife, Patrizia, for lending your husband to us. We like that. Thank you so much. I'm going to give a little bio about Archie. He might be a little shy, but I'm going to just tell it like it is. Archie is an Air Force veteran who became our National Service Officer for the Disabled American Veterans from 2001 and 2012. He's a member of the VFW here in Brentwood, Post 10789, the American Legion in Antioch, Post 161, the DAV in Vallejo, the Antioch Delta Coanes, and Archie was recognized as the Veteran of the Year for the State Assembly 11th District. Archie continues to be a man of public service, not only to our community, but to our community veterans. He gives one-on-one counseling about their claims and their seminars. He gives so much of himself because he's a personal chef to the scouts and to the veterans. And we always love it when he's around because he feeds us and he cooks super good food. Let us all take a second to welcome Mr. Archie Smith. Archie.
As you can see, there is enough of me to go around, actually. I tried to put this suit on after so many years. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go business casual today. But Mike, I appreciate you inviting me out today. And I look around and I see so many people that I've probably helped before. But the one person I wanted to speak about first is my wife, Patrizia. Thank you for everything. Veterans are crazy, and we require a lot of care, right? Over the years, you know, when we first get out of the military, we act a certain way. In the middle of our lives, we act a certain way. At the end, we act a certain way, and our spouses have to deal with all of those ways and still love us. One day I want to have a day where we give an appreciation for the spouses, like we're doing today for veterans, because they give so much of themselves and their careers just to make sure that we're still safe, because we all know we have 22 suicides a day. So we appreciate the spouses that we have and how they take care of us, okay? So that goes to all spouses as well. He kind of said everything, so I don't know what else I'm gonna say. No, seriously, I am and I was a National Service Officer for the Disabled American Veterans, and what that is somebody who takes a veteran from the start to the finish of their claim. So when I first started, I was in the Air Force, hoorah Air Force, right? I loaded bombs for a living. So I thought I was gonna go in the Air Force and, like, you know, play football, you know, that kind of thing, you know. They don't run in the Air Force, so I'm good to go. And I had a high score in literacy and in mechanical, which I let that go. But they said, you know, you could be a nuclear armament systems journeyman, you can travel the world and you could do this and that. And I was like, whoa, that sounds great. And then I was on my knees on the concrete loading practice bombs for 4 years. So, you know, we're always joking in the military from the start to finish. But that job really shaped me. And when I got out, I had to apply for benefits because my knees were gone, right? So they first asked me, you know, you sound great. Do you want a job? And I was like, okay, I'll take one, because I didn't have anything going on when I first got out. And lo and behold, the claim that I filed under my supervisor, it was denied. And I got 0% ratings and 10% ratings. And I was so upset, and I was like, well, what is going on? And I started to understand over the years that it's written a specific way. Everything in that 38 CFR Code of Federal Regulations that I know by heart is written a certain way. And it's not to ensure that our veterans receive those benefits in a timely fashion or the right way, okay? So I dedicated years and years. I started off going to the bases from Navy NAS Lemoore down south to Marysville up north to Petaluma, and I would do the out processing briefings. I would tell the veterans, I'd go through their service medical records, give them a 45-minute presentation and say, this is what you need to file for, this is what you need to do. And then a couple years later, those same veterans were coming into my office as a service officer nationally, and I was filing their actual claims for benefits and teaching them how to get those benefits granted the proper way. Then I was going to the Board of Veterans Appeals with World War II veterans who had ankle conditions from jumping out of planes in Normandy and couldn't get an increase in their 7-year-old appeal. And I'm just sitting here like, you know, this isn't right. But what am I as one person going to do? In 2003, laws changed. They changed the way they rated the skin. And when I say they, I mean the Department of Veterans Affairs. I call them they. They changed the way they rate the skin, and they changed the way they rate the back, the spine. So I had people coming into my office hurting and saying, I need an increase. And then they would file their claim and get a proposal to reduce. So you're 40% for your back, and then you go in for an increase because you can't do your job, you're having issues with your family, you can't pick up your kids, you can't go bowling, and you're upset, and then you file for an increase, and they say, we're gonna propose to reduce you to 20% because the criteria of 40% is no longer the same, okay? What I'm here to talk about is what I've been preaching forever. Membership, life membership in veteran service organizations. Like he said, Mike said, I'm a life member of the VFW in Brentwood. I'm a life member of the DAV in Vallejo. I'm a life member of the American Legion in Antioch. And if I'm not, I can be, right? Because I've joined partially, but I could finish that off, right? And it's a tax-free write-off. So what we don't know as veterans is every February, I used to go to Washington, D.C. and lobby Congress with the Disabled American Veterans Organization and the VFW and the American Legion and 39 different organizations. And just like Congress, just imagine you guys are Congress and you're sitting here and you're tired of everybody talking and this and that, and you got your arms folded and this. That's what they were doing to us because we had to advocate over the same laws separately. Does that make sense? If all of us are there, why can't we all speak about the same thing? So Congress is getting upset because they have to hear us say the same thing that we want over and over. And the way it's set up is the veteran organization that has the most membership in their organization is the one that has the most voice. But it's the veterans who have to join those members, those organizations, and become life members to bring the voices up. It's a tax-free write-off. Laws are being changed when veterans pass away. Our World War II veterans passed away at a high rate in early 2000 and in 2003. That's why they were able to change that law, because the World War II veterans, they joined. They were members of all the organizations. They cared. And the Korean Wars, they did as well. And then when it got to Vietnam, they learned that it was a different way that we have to start treating these guys, or else they'll keep getting these benefits. So that's why a lot of our Vietnam veterans are really hurt inside because of the way they were treated when they got home. And that's why a lot of our Gulf War veterans like myself are hurting inside because of the way we were treated when we got home. And that's why there's a 22 suicide a day stat that's over 10 years old. So you think about how many veterans that is. It's a lot. So when you think about, I'm a member of the American Legion, also think about, you know what, it's a tax-free write-off. Let me become a member of the DAV. Let me see if I qualify to become a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Because when you are, now you're lobbying Congress every February. Remember, we don't do like everybody else, like we all, the elections were just recently and maybe they were good, maybe they were bad for some, but there was anything in there for veterans, was it? There's not when it's the president's vote as well. There is nothing in there for veterans. We have to advocate for our own laws every February. Think about that. So if you're not a life member now, like me, I'm 45 only, right? So I started in 2000 going to meetings every month and all this. So I might look like I'm young, but I'm old in veteran years, right? So I saw so many of us saying, I don't know why I should join, or maybe I shouldn't become, or maybe I'll wait until I'm 65 because I don't want to go to these meetings every month. And I've got kids and the meetings are on Saturday and Tuesday and I don't have time. Well, guess what? You're not representing yourselves and you're not representing everyone else, because wait and go to the meeting when you get ready, but become a life member today. Okay? There was something that I put together that I've been saying I was going to do for years. It's on the desk on the table up front. There's a little piece of paper that teaches you and explains why you should become a life member and why it's so important. And like I said, it is a tax-free write-off. So I encourage all of you who are members of the American Legion, the VFW, find another one, look up on the internet and find out who else is lobbying Congress that I might be able to join, and then do it. I would really appreciate it, and everybody is going to appreciate it later, because right now they just said that they're going to change 3 more laws. One of them is hearing loss and ringing of the ears. Another one is sleep apnea and all respiratory conditions. And the third one that I hate the most is mental conditions. So, when they start to mess with that, now it's another time for us to have to step back and say, how do we get granted properly again? And I'm the only guy who watched Highway to Heaven, obviously, because for some reason I'm the only one around that's helping these veterans change their lives and actually giving them time to do that. Sitting in front of them and speaking and not doing a 20-minute interview. But that's the way everything's put. That's the way everything's set, to where it's quick. Get them in, get them out. And we don't have time. So I try to teach veterans to basically take your own time and get your own knowledge of your own benefits and your own claims. And if you need my help, I'm always here. But that help is always online for you. You can always look up your own benefits, your own disabilities on va.gov, and just get more aware of what it is you're trying to do before you do it. And if you need any help, I'm always here for you. Mike can always tell you where I'm at. I love cooking, as he said. I cook for the VFW. I cook for the kids running around because I just love it. So anybody who needs help with anything like that, just let me know. Again, thank you all for coming out, and thank you for your service, and hoorah, Air Force.
Like and subscribe to my channel because it is dedicated to helping veterans understand their VA benefits. I will be covering specific parts of the VA claims process and answering your questions, and using them as content to help other veterans who are dealing with the same issues. Thank you all for your service and support of veterans and our active duty.